Hi, my people. Welcome back to 100 Days of Data with Miss Mailiana. Today is day 3. I am Francisca Mailiana Zonki, popularly known as Miss Mailiana, and I'm your lead tutor for this challenge. Alright, so for today, we are going to be looking at why data is the foundation of every business. Why data is the foundation of every business. That's what today is all about. So for a couple of days, right, for about the next 5 to 6 days, you are going to be on the board learning the basics, the understanding of what data analytics is and what it carries, the importance of it, and why you should be able to um, convince yourself that you're a good data analyst, or a data analyst has a lot of opportunities and actually helps a lot of people, right? So we are taking it from the basics, building the mindset right, so that you know that if you are taking the course or you are building your career as a data analyst, you are very valuable. That's the goal for this, the basics, the beginning. All right, so for today we are going to see 3 major objectives. Objective number 1 will be why companies rely heavily on data, how data reduces business risks, and why data analysts fit into business decisions. One thing I tell my students across board is that if you are a data analyst, you have to start seeing yourself as a stakeholder. So you have to learn how to communicate as a stakeholder. You are not someone just punching numbers behind a computer or behind a laptop, but you are a stakeholder giving the right information for the right decisions to be made. So even if you didn't take anything from today's class or today's challenge, just take note that as a data analyst, you are a stakeholder in a business or in an organization. You know more, you give more value because you back it with data. All right, so let's get into today's class or today's challenge. I don't know, let's just call it class, right? Okay, so let's look at data again. So at this point, we know the definition of data, okay? Raw facts or records. This information is from day 1. And then we did ICT. I did ICT. I remember doing ICT in primary, and one of those definitions, right, define data, information, and yes, and mostly say that information is getting out of data, right? So these are raw facts, but information is now you process it. You process the data to get meaningful information, because sometimes the data are just raw facts. Do you get? So therefore, when a business is being started, right? When you're starting a business is going to be something like a give and take. What I mean is, you may be having, so a business may have 2 major things, right? May have 2 major, so I have to make it this way, right? Maybe products or services, right? So we are a business, so our business, so let's call this 100 days of data a business where we are giving a service of teaching, right? We are giving a service of teaching. Probably we may come up with, I intend to do that, come up with a book for data professionals, those who don't have any background in data, so zero knowledge in data, to become a data analyst. So I have a book and a service of teaching, right? Before I even started this video recording, I had already done 100 days challenge in 2021. So when I did that, I realized that people were interested in knowing the basics of data analytics so that they can start their journey. And out of that, right, so when I did the 100 days challenge first edition 1, I was collecting data, researching to see if I started teaching fully, would people come into my class, right? So data collection, or like data helps you as a business to know whether what you are bringing to the market will be accepted or not. That's like in simple terms. So when I did the first edition, taught data, I taught data on like LinkedIn for 100 days. And after the 100 days, I saw how people were actually watching without me realizing. And also, I was posting some of the videos on TikTok and other platforms. So I saw people watching. And when I started inviting, so that made me know that, okay, if I start teaching full time, I can monetize and start teaching. So we came up with the monthly live classes, which we started in October. So without me actually doing this data collection, I wouldn't have known that I can actually monetize my services and make it like, it's not a business yet, it's just me teaching, but me not monetizing. So if I grow, right, so now let's say we are going to do 3 different editions by the end of the year. So by the end of the year, if I say, okay, I'm going to turn it into a business, an academic business, I have data, I have collected data to back it. So this is like a typical relatable explanation of why data is important in business. Okay, why data is important in business and why businesses rely on data. If you don't have data, you wouldn't know what the customer needs. You wouldn't know whether the customer needs a book. And mind you, this is what happened. So whilst I was teaching the 100 days, so I think for the first edition, by day 60, I started marketing that I'm going to bring up a book. And no one pre-ordered. So it was on a pre-order basis. No one pre-ordered. But immediately I was like, I want to teach live. People actually signed up. So it made me know that people don't want products, but they want my teaching. Do you get? So that is what helped me. This is like a relatable story that happened. This is just like few months ago. And so that's like I'll say this is list of how a business rely on data, just so that they know, just so that they know what the customer will buy. So in a nutshell, businesses rely on data so that they know what they know what they can give out. They know what services they can bring to the market. If they bring if a business is bringing up about 6 products and they bring all the 6 products at a go without collecting data to find out which products will sell more, which products should we cut off, should we reduce it to 3, should we reduce it to 2, and they just produce all the 6 and bring to the market. Mind you, maybe it's only just one product will sell out and the rest of the 5 will just expire, and that is what's lost. So this is why businesses rely on data. So that means that every business actually rely on data. So you as a data analyst, you as a data professional, like, are needed in every business. Do you get? In another way too, when you don't have data to actually make decisions, you start guessing your work. It's like you are guessing, oh, maybe they'll buy. Like, you are just guessing. You don't know whether they'll buy or not. So imagine if I had put so much effort to finish. I didn't finish the book, by the way. To finishing this book, and I put it in the market, and I'll be marketing, doing ads and all those things, and no one is buying. Whilst I could have just moved on to the services if I didn't bring the services, because maybe I'll be like, oh, if I do the book, if I spend time like 1 month or 2 months and just focus on building the book, afterwards I'm not going to be stressed again, right? I'll not be now having a calendar of teaching every time and all those things. I won't even think of coming to do 100 days of data again and all those things. So I just want to do the book, and then I can be marketing, and then I can be selling. But I will do that and I'll get frustrated because no one is buying, and they want me to teach them like live, right? And that is how come I got to monetize my knowledge. Okay, that is how come I got to monetize my knowledge. So businesses rely on data so that they don't guess, so that they know what is working and what is not working. That is it. So let's move on to the next thing, right? I have spoken about how businesses use data to understand what the customer wants. We are also going to look at how data also helps businesses to track their sales performance, right? In a nutshell, since we started the class, like monthly class, what I mean by the monthly class is that I have a team. We are a team of 4 data analysts among other teams. So we are a team of 8 also, right? 8 years, and we teach like live. It's not like recorded, right? I also have recorded class as well, but we have live sessions where we teach, right? So people get to ask questions and interact with us almost every time. And that is what the customer wanted. So when we did the very first edition, we realized that that's what they wanted, right? So now, how when we started from October, November, we did October, we did November, we did, and December we did a master class. And through all that, we're collecting data. The number of people that turned up, I think for October we had about 29-30 people in class. By November we also had about 20 something, 26 or 7 in class. So in November wasn't a teaching class, but it was more of a master class and all that. We are gathering the data. So at the end, as of now, since we started, we've taught about 60 plus students data analytics, right? So now when I stand somewhere and I say I teach data analytics, I have data backing it, that I have a track record, and it's even just between the period of 3 months, 60 people have been taught, right? So I'm tracking the people I'm teaching. That is data. Do not think it's big or something as well. Then the next thing is also to predict trends, right? So for now, in average, every month I teach about 15 individuals live session classes, right? So that means that in February we are hoping to hit 15 plus individuals. So that will make us know that, okay, this thing can become a business. You get, this thing can become a business where we now have marketers, we now have distributors to actually get people on board, make a loud noise and all that. All is data. So I've just used me as an individual who is now building to show you that from the ground up, businesses will grow better if they start relying on data effectively. So you as a data analyst, if you don't have any job, I challenge you that you go around your neighborhood, you go around your internet, you go around Google and find out businesses around you that are still struggling, and you try to help them solve the problem by using their data, right? So when you go in there, you say, okay, let's have a research done. Let's contact all the previous customers you've had and all that. Do you have their data? Because most of business owners, they are just selling by chance, like, oh, by God's grace someone will pass by God's grace someone will pass by. What if you have a way of collecting your customers' data, right? So that when they are new stock, you can call them and say, oh, it's been a while I saw you, like just build a relationship with them, right? So you can do that, and you realize that you are even building your skill as a data analyst real time, right? So now let's move on to how data reduces risks. Right, so I hope you understand what it means that business from ground up, businesses rely on data from ground up. All right. Okay, so let's get back to the next objective for this day, for this today's challenge, is that we get to know how data reduces risks. So what I thought is, let me write it, how data reduces risks. So the major thing out here is risks. What is the risks, right? For a business or an organization, one of the risks is actually making losses. Okay. Another risk is low sales. Well, low sales can actually affect the loss as well. Another risk is low customer service, right? Another risk could be, so these are causes of the risk, right? So low sales is a risk that can happen. Low customer service too is a risk. When it happens, it will cause a big major, so it affects, so low customer service or Bad customer service will affect low sales, and then there will be loss. What other thing? Let's say if financial institutions fraud, stealing from staffs who steal, right? All these are risks. And how does data reduce loss? Okay, so as a business, we collect data on sales. We collect data on how sales does every day, so we get to realize that is sales going up or down, and what is causing it to go down. You get to find out using data. So when you find out that, oh, sales is going down, last month sales went down, you immediately find out why is it going down, so that you don't get lost. So now you reduce, if you find out the problem, you reduce the loss. Then now another data you collect is staff. You collect data on staff, right? To know who they are, guarantors, or the number of children they have, and all those things, where they stay, and all those things, so that they can be vouched for that they are good people and they wouldn't commit fraud or they wouldn't steal from the business. Right now, also finance, which will mean expenditure and money coming in. So money coming in, and money going out. So almost every time, money going out should be lesser than, so money coming in should be greater than money going out. So this is out, this is in, right? So money coming into the business should be greater than money going out of the business. So this is expenses and this is income, right? So if the expenses is becoming bigger, right? If the expenses is becoming bigger, then there's a problem. So you get to see it if you collect data on them, you get to see it, and then now you find out what is costing, what are they buying, or what are they using the money for, and that the expenses that's causing like expenses to go high, so that you'll be able to catch it early and reduce like loss. Okay, so in a nutshell, data is collected from every sector or every department of a business, so that you are able to track it, right? So you're able to track what is happening in each department, so that you would reduce all the loss, you reduce all the risks. So if you realize that our sales is coming down, oh, let's find out why is that happening. Oh, one staff has like the names he's giving, he didn't bring Ghana card of his guarantor, so we don't know what it means. His guarantors don't have Ghana card to identify that, oh, these people are family members or something, so we can't trust him. Or there have been money getting missing time to time from his account. What is happening, right? Probably he's a salesperson and he doesn't bring all the sales he does in a day. You get to realize all that when you have data. Okay, so I hope at this point I have been able to convince you that from the beginning of building a business, you have to start collecting data and use the data to build. When you start building too, you have to use data to reduce your risks. I hope I have convinced you. So let's get into the last part of today's video, which is where data analyst, you as a data analyst, fits in. Okay, so let's go. All right, so the next is where data analyst fits in. Okay, so where do you fit in as a data analyst, or where do we fit in? Because I'm also a data analyst. All right, so as we've already mentioned, from the beginning of running a business, data must be collected. As the business is being run, data must be collected to what? Reduce risks. Risks of a business is that the business collapses, like goes into losses and maybe fraud and all those things. If you have data, it helps you actually reduce that as well. So now you as a data analyst, where do you fit in? Okay, so this time around, you fit in from the beginning, collecting data. So you fit in collecting data. Remember that data analytics is the whole process. You collect the data, gather the data and everything. So you fit in as collecting the data. Also, you fit in making sure that the data you collect is actually clean and actually accurate. So you fit in cleaning the data to be accurate. So maybe accurate data, right? You fit in that as well. Then the next thing is you also fit in analyzing. So maybe a business has started from scratch and you want to help. You can go in and say that, oh, I'm a newbie, I'm a data analyst, I just finished learning data analytics and I want to volunteer to help you what? Collect data. Right. Oh, I'm a data analyst and I just finished and I want to volunteer. Doing all this actually add up to your CV and resume. Before a big company employs you, they have to see that you've done the work. So you going to small businesses to do this is very key. You can also go to a business and say that, oh, probably you're collecting data already because I see you doing a lot on your social media and all that. I can help you clean your data to see the customers you have, to see what people buy and all those things. So you can actually do proposal per each of these fits, right? So now you can also then after create a proposal to say a truck was passing by. So you also can create a proposal to say, oh, I can analyze your data for you. All right. So now as a data analyst, you knowing that, oh, you can collect data, you can clean data, you can analyze data. When you are approaching yourself or selling yourself to a business to hire you or to take you as an intern to pay you something small from the beginning, you use these to pitch yourself, right? So pitching, right? Also, this is the major part, making decisions using facts. As I said, you should see yourself as a stakeholder wherever you step your foot in. With data, you have evidence to make sure that the business is doing well. All right. Okay. All right. So you fit in collecting data, cleaning data, analyzing, and making decisions. These are the simple facts. But in this modern world, this will take you somewhere, but you have to advance. Okay. What do I mean by advancing? In fact, I'm an example of advancing. I am selling myself by any means necessary, which is building in public, which I am doing right now with this 100 days challenge. So I am showing everybody that I am a data analyst. I can teach data analytics and I do it with confidence. And you can come to my YouTube channel to see the videos I have created. This is a way for me to learn. This is a way for me to sell myself. And this is a way for me to help others as well. Do you get? Building in public. So you can use, in fact, not everybody can teach, right? But then you can actually study how to collect data in the modern world. What I mean is that you can study platforms that can help you collect data. Say Google, using Google Forms. Say Microsoft, using Microsoft Forms as well, and all that. So learning, so you can have about 4 or 5 ways of collecting data. And when I studied statistics in University of Ghana, we learned about survey, right? How to design a survey, right? So you use that, like you learn that, so you have a lot to say that, oh, when it comes to data cleaning, you can do it this way. When it comes to data collection, you can do it this way, you can do it that way, you can do it this way. When it comes to data cleaning too, you learn like deep details. So when now you are learning, it comes to the building in public. You can come and tell us, okay, did you know that with Google Forms, you can do this and this and this and that, and you post that. So when you learn a part of the Google face, you come and share it and all those things. What you are doing is you are selling yourself. You are selling yourself. That is like you are marketing yourself so that when it's time for you to get the jobs, you are confident in what you know. You have evidence online. People have seen it that you are good in it. So you now become a better fit. You now become outstanding. And also sometimes we, in quotes, right? Sometimes we see these things to be, when you learn to some point, you think that that is it. Okay, right? You think that, oh, it's all about getting the data, cleaning it, and all that. It becomes easier, but then you have to also take your time to also relearn, keep learning. Because as I speak, I started with Excel, and as of now, I am learning Google Sheets, and I have discovered that I can blend Google Sheets to Google Slides to create a dashboard, which could also pass out as a presentation. So in a nutshell, what I want to end this video with is that when you learn where to fit in as a beginner in data analytics, also take them one after the other and master them with a lot of information, like a lot of skills. So I mentioned that the data collection, you can learn about Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, in fact, social media, right? How to design a survey in a large quantity, how to design a marketing campaign to collect data, and all those things, right? You learn all those things. So when you are being interviewed and you are talking, even though maybe you don't have an experience or you are now starting your journey in data analytics, you have broken down these things into into recent modern tools. AI is there. So how would you use AI for data collection? You use all that to build. Now, when you are talking with so much information with you, and so you build confidence out of that. So I'll end with, as you learn with clarity. So let me clean this part and write that here. So first and foremost, learn with clarity. Learn with breakdowns, right? Build in public by sharing, right? Build in public by sharing what you are learning, and you take it one after the other. Trust me, it's going to make you understand, like, build so well. All right, so we've got to the end of today's video. I hope you learned a lot, right? We are going to go into day 4 in tomorrow, which would be, all right, career paths in data. All right, so I'm going to see you in day 4. Please subscribe to this channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell that other friend that Data with Miss Mailiana 100 days of challenge is going on, and it's already day 3, so they should come join and learn from the best. All right, I'm going to see you on day 4. Bye for now.